This is Phalaenopsis speciosa, a Phalaenopsis species endemic to northwestern Sumatra. Now, there is a little bit of a debate if the speciosa and tetraspis one are the same orchid. To be honest, I could not find the answer, not sure if taxonomists agree just yet, and from my own personal experience, there doesn't seem to be much of a difference between them. So for now, I will refer to both of these species, but in the future, they might turn out to be two different orchids. In any case, they behave the same, and the flowering behavior of this orchid is its main attraction. The flowers can be white, red, or a combination of white and red. I think you've noticed already that flowers don't necessarily look identical to each other, and this is because this orchid can always bloom slightly different. We can have a flower that has only white petals or only red petals, although I find it to be pretty rare, or most commonly a combination of red and white petals and sepals, or white flowers with red splashes of color. This behavior is not only unique in the Phalaenopsis kingdom, but also the entire orchid kingdom. To my knowledge, there isn't another orchid which performs this way, other than possibly hybrids of this orchid. And for me, this is the whole thrill of this orchid, because other than that, it really is a very typical polychilous type Phalaenopsis. The foliage is light green in color and very glossy, very typical to polychilous subgenus type Phalaenopsis orchids. And also the fragrance is not really something to write home about. When we have something like the Bellina to compare to, nothing really can come close. There is a bit of a fragrance which I find slightly fruity, but it's very mild and certainly I would not buy this orchid for the fragrance. Another detail that I really like about it is the fuzzy lip, which again is something not extraordinarily common with Phalaenopsis orchids in the polychilous subgenus and not only. And just like any other summer bloomer type Phalaenopsis, it blooms throughout the year as long as it's warm. In environments which do experience a cooler winter, this orchid might stop blooming during the winter, but it is indeed sequential, meaning the flower spikes can rebloom for quite a few years. So if your orchid is healthy, cutting them is not a good idea because they can definitely rebloom as the orchid creates new flower spikes. So in the end, you can actually have a pretty impressive inflorescence altogether. I find this orchid tends to stay pretty small. Again, if we compare it to something like the Bellina even, or the Gigantea, it is quite tiny. Maybe not as tiny as miniature Phalaenopsis, but pretty close in my opinion. Also, the leaves appear to be slightly slender, so not that broad shape that we all know and love with miniature Phalaenopsis. But really, other than that, it takes the same type of care like any other polychilous type Phalaenopsis. And in the description you will find a link towards my tutorial so you can learn more if you want to, but I find it to be very easy for beginners as well, especially for those of you who live in very warm climates and usually have issues reblooming flower shop Phalaenopsis due to the temperature. This is the type of orchid you don't usually find in flower shops, unless you're extremely lucky, but for the vast majority of us, most probably resorting to orchid nurseries is necessary. So try to find one online or maybe in your area, and since this is a very popular orchid, it's really not rare at all. It's kind of a staple in the orchid hobby. I'm sure at some point you will find it available in stock. Price-wise should not be extreme either, should be kinda very similar to other polychilous type Phalaenopsis, and that kinda wraps it up about the tetraspis. Oh, sorry, speciosa, see? Even I confused them. Let me know in the comments, do you have this orchid? Do you enjoy it? How does it bloom for you? And did you ever get a fully red flower? Because I actually purchased the so-called tetraspis one red. Will it bloom only red? I don't know, we're gonna see. But up until now, I have never had a fully red flower. I did have white, but not red. Alright, so that's about it. Thanks for watching. Bye!